Hi guys, welcome to my game week 23, 24 and 25 video. I'm apologising to you guys for abandoning you for a few weeks. I've not been very well, I've been a little bit poorly, I caught a cold and then I got a sore throat and then I got full on man flu. And at one point I'm pretty sure I sounded like a man, which was probably really unattractive. So I'm really sorry for leaving you guys for a few weeks. I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys who've been so supportive over the past few weeks. You've been brilliant and I'm making so many new FPL friends, football friends and just generally community friends on YouTube and Twitter, and you guys have been great. I'm not fully better, but I pep myself up to bring you the points that I got over the past few weeks in the FPL. I know we have a few double game weeks and blank game weeks yet to be confirmed due to the FA Cup. And I know how that will affect how we line up our teams going forward for the next few weeks. But before we approach all that madness, I'll have a take a look over my points. I'm afraid they've been a bit inconsistent. This doesn't sound like it's a new thing at the moment this season, with a lot of you having the same problems as me. Last season I knew I could pick 3 or 4 players, pop them in my team, and then it was just a decision between who I captained, and I knew I was pretty much guaranteed a decent haul of points. This season I'm finding there's just no consistency really across the board. And I'm struggling, and I think a few of you guys are too. But let's stick with it. We're going okay, and let's hope that the run after the blank game weeks towards the end of the season is a good one. Let's just check out my points and go from there. So, game week 23. There's not a whole lot to say about this game week, to be honest with you. It was a slow week. I only got 41 points, and that was 6 above the average. I could have had in any of my players on the bench for an extra point. And of course, I could have had Hazard or Sanchez as captain for a few more points. But my biggest scorers were PVA and Heaton, and it was unlikely I was ever going to captain them. So as I say, slow week. Game week 24, the freak week as I call it. I fell just below average in this game week, with only 47 points. Now with Sunderland scoring 4 goals against Palace, West Ham winning 3-1 over Southampton, and Everton's 6-3 win over Bournemouth made for a pretty interesting game week in the FPL. Now to be honest, I didn't have Lukaku, so I was always on the back foot this game week. And lucky you if you had him in. Even better if you also had Defoe and Jesus that game week. But what could I have done differently? Well, I could have had Gibson in for PVA and Hazard as my captain. But I think I pretty much got the best out of the team I had. This team was a disappointment compared to my personal team. Just in a quick comparison, I wanted to show you my personal team for game week 24, where it just goes to show if you've got the right players in, you can get the right kind of points. Hence my 76 points. And I still didn't have Lukaku in this team with his 4 goals. I strapped on my brave pants in this team and I took a -4 to get in Defoe and Jesus, and I also captained Jesus, and they both repaid me gratefully with 2 goals each. Now if I hadn't have done that in this league, with 4 others having Lukaku and one of them captaining him, I really would have struggled in this league. But thankfully, I don't know what came over me, I just decided to throw caution to the wind and it worked out great. This does leave me in a bit of quandary with this team with some blanks coming up, but at least now it puts me in with a bit of a shot. And I just wanted to show you that I'm not completely useless and that I can pull it out of the bag when I need to. And so back to my YouTube team. For game week 25, 58 points is a fairly good week, to be honest. Again, I'm sensing a bit of a trend here. I should have had Gibson in instead of Van Aanholt. I thought Crystal Palace would do better against Stoke, and I did not see a Middlesbrough clean sheet after Everton's score of goals the previous week. So I hope you guys can forgive me for that. Now, I know what you're going to say. Should I have had Sanchez as captain? Well, in FPL terms, yes, I probably should have done. However, Whenever I captain Sanchez, I seem to put a bit of a curse on him. And I'm an Arsenal fan, and I need Sanchez to do as well as often for Arsenal as he possibly can. But on one hand, yes, I probably should have captained him, but on the other hand, would he have scored as many points for me? Probably not. So if any of you captained him, then good on you, and be thankful to me that I didn't captain him and break him on you. Okay, so you guys are probably wondering what transfers I made over those few game weeks. Well, I made 2 free transfers, so to speak. In other words, I only made 1 transfer and they didn't use up all of my transfers, so I got to carry 1 along every week. Now, I got Davies in for Alan, which was a bit of a fail because in the week I did it, he didn't play. I was trying to think forward to the blank game weeks, thinking Everton are definitely playing, and therefore by getting Davies in for Alan, I was covering those blank game weeks. And that still might be the case, but we'll have to see. But just to make me feel even worse, when I already had the flu and I was feeling really ill, Alan then went and scored and made me feel incredibly bad for transferring him out. And my second free transfer was getting Maguire in for Cook. Now, I was quite tempted to get Raniaka for Cook, but I was kind of persuaded by the chat on Twitter, and I watched a video from the official account about how many shots Maguire's had on target and how good he's been going forward. And so I got my arm twisted into getting him in. I knew that he wouldn't do very much against Arsenal, or the likelihood was that it wasn't going to get me much return against Arsenal, but again, I was trying to think forward. And now we'll just have to wait and see if that transfer will pay off. But I definitely liked his run of games a bit more than Cook's run of games. And so that's why I got him in. So, on to game week 26. At this point, I usually show you my team and show you who I plan to transfer in, who I plan to transfer out. The honesty of it is, I'm not entirely sure yet myself. But before I go any further, I just want to say a massive shout out to @BenCrenlin on Twitter. If you guys haven't checked him out, you need to check him out because he is the don of all blank game weeks and double game weeks, and is definitely one to follow to get a good idea of what's going on there. Now, my team is pretty well covered for game week 26 already. I've been doing a little bit of squirreling, I've been storing the nuts for winter, if you get my drift. I would like to keep Sanchez for future weeks. Now, hear me out. I know you guys are jumping ship to Mane, and to be honest, I am very tempted. And I'm pretty sure I've already lost quite a bit of cash by holding on to him. But he is definitely a player to have until the end of the season. So I am just going to have to play that one by ear. Watch this space. Sanchez in or Sanchez out is a big question mark right now. I have also considered getting Ibra out. I know that's another one you guys are looking at and freeing up some cash with. But I like his run of games to game week 32. And I'm also really tempted to captain him in game week 27. So I might just try and hold on to him at least through 26. Because also, if you put aside the blanks, he will be involved in double game weeks. Now, it's obvious for us all to see that Benteke and PVA are not giving me the returns that they should be. I really, really hoped with Schlurt coming into the team, Zaha back from the African Cup of Nations, that Benteke and PVA and Crystal Palace would push on and really help with the kind of cheaper players for our FPL. But that hasn't proved to be the case. And so now with a possible blank, they're looking definite candidates to be transferred. And that's it, you guys. That's you all up to date with my FPL. And I'll keep you all informed with what I plan to do going forward for 26. Please keep following me on Twitter @NymphriaTV. You'll catch the link below. Before leaving, I just want to say a thank you to a couple of people who have welcomed me into the FPL community, and that's FPL Fly, Fancy Football Fix, Holly Louise, Ken Rooney, D-Raj, and @Plugin Baby. Thank you to you guys so much. You've really opened my eyes to the world of the FPL community, And it's been great chatting to you guys on Twitter. And don't forget to keep watching for more shoutouts. And if you haven't heard on the grapevine, I am on the lookout for some new graphics for my videos. So if you guys know anybody, then give me a shout, that would be great. I'm looking to hook up with a website or somebody who makes graphics for my team lineups. And lastly, don't forget to like and subscribe and do all those fabulous things. Until next time, Nymphrey out.